Hello guys, welcome back to a new video. Hope you're all well. I thought that I would do a sort of prepping for 2025 type of vlog. I think I'm going to do like a full reset vlog. I thought that I would sort of get things in motion now to try and help me fully reset and prepare for the new year. I do absolutely love a new year. I feel like it just feels like such a clean slate and a fresh start. And perhaps one of these delusional people that thinks that they are going to go into the new year and come out as a completely different person. But I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I do love the sort of motivation that comes with a new year. But I do feel like 2024 for me has been quite difficult. Not in terms of anything major, I just feel like it hasn't quite been my best year. I've had such good moments and made such good memories, but I feel like overall I've just been quite sad, which makes me feel really sad to say. But we're not going to dwell on it, it's happened, and I am kind of trying to have a full rehash of everything before we go into the new year. So I want to have a full declutter. I want to go through my books, my clothes, everything that I have, like makeup products, skincare products, and get rid of everything that I don't use. I want to have a little bit of a glow up within myself. I just feel like I haven't really felt my best this year, both physically, emotionally and mentally. I feel like I have been very burnt out, very sluggish, very down in the dumps, very anxious. I feel like I've been very open on here since the beginning of time that I am such an anxious girly. I have obviously been making steps and trying to work towards combating that, but it is a minefield. But I do obviously want to focus more on that at the end of this year, leading into next year, so that I can fully prioritise that next year. I just feel like I've been very burnt out, unfocused, unmotivated, and generally quite down in the dumps and stressed. I have really been trying to hone in on a routine and adding in little wellness tips and tricks, and trying to sort of focus on what makes me feel good. I've been trying to get into a more regular sleeping pattern, spending less time on my phone, more time outside as much as I can, amongst obviously other things. But one of the things I actually wanted to share with you is Magic Mind. So I have added Magic Mind to my routine recently. I did the 7-day challenge, 7-day trial to see how I got on with it. Obviously, like I said, I'm trying to sort of set things in place and get into a routine towards the end of this year, so that by the time it gets to January 2025, I feel like I am not bringing on all these new habits, all these new goals. They're just a natural progression of things that I've already been working on. For me, the main points of doing this were to reduce anxiety and stress, and then also increase my motivation and my mood and my productivity. If you haven't heard of Magic Mind, they are a mental performance shop that was designed to make you feel and think better whilst also reducing stress, which obviously is going to make you feel better. Like I said, I'm a very anxious and stressed girl. It's just a part of my being. So I have included these into my daily routine for the last 7 days. Today was the 7th day. They are a little shot that I've been taking every morning. You can sort of take it with ice or milk, but to me, I'm just doing it as a shot. It tastes kind of like a mix between a matcha and a ginger shot, so I love it. It tastes so good on its own, because I know that some shots can be a little bit iffy, but I just wanted to share that with you. Obviously, I am trying to perfect my routine. I am really trying to put a focus on my health and my wellness, and this is just one of the ways that I'm doing that. So I do have a discount code. I will pop it on the screen and also leave it linked down below if you do want to give the challenge, the trial a go and see if it works for you also. I'm committed to being a health and wellness girly in 2025 and truly just prioritising me, my well-being, my health, everything like that. So, but guys, I am feeling pretty good today. Like I said, I have really been struggling with my anxiety recently. I just feel like I get so pent up and stressed about things that are either happening at the minute, aren't even happening yet, or probably have no probability of happening. It's a whole big issue. I've been very open about it on this space, on my other little spaces on the internet. It's not something I really closed off about. Maybe I should be. I'm a chronic oversharer, but I just think it's nice to hear other people talk about things and try to normalise things a little bit. But I'm hoping that I will be able to get my affairs in order and go into 2025 less stressed. because honestly the winter, Christmas, New Year time can be very stressful and can be very depressing, let's be honest. So I am really trying to combat that as much as I possibly can. Obviously it is not that easy, I would know, but I am trying to be pretty proactive, set myself up the best that I can and put myself in the best position for truly making 2025 my year, because guys, I'm going to be 25 in literally like a month. I will be 25, and that less than a month, oh my god, that terrifies me because 25 just feels like a grown-up age. I know that in the grand scheme of things that is a little tiny baby, but me right now, she's not buying that. So I am going to have a little bit of a clear out. I don't know whether to actually go on a walk first, and then when we come back, hopefully I will feel like a little bit refreshed and we'll be able to fully dive in, because I kind of don't want to get stuck into stuff and then have to leave. So we might go for a walk first actually. I'm going to go for a nice walk along the beach. I am so lucky to live so close to the beach. I'm trying to be more positive and grateful for everything and anything. So we're going to go for a little walk along the beach, I think. It's looking pretty chilly though, so we're going to have to get all wrapped up. Okay, so I have all of my Christmas stuff that I now need to put away. So I'm going to use this as like a good opportunity to completely to completely like refresh my room, like have a reset, get rid of like old clothes, sort through things and make space for all of the new stuff that I've got, because there's a lot and I have little to no room to put it all. So that is what we are going to do. Let's just get into it. Let's tidy up, declutter. I need to change my bedding. The Christmas bedding is gone, she's off. Well, she's not yet, but she will be. And then this afternoon, or maybe tomorrow, we'll see how I get on today. I'm gonna sort of like vision board and set my goals for the year. So let's get going. My new pillows, very cute. Still don't quite think that 2025 is the time to get rid of these, like I just can't. I've already narrowed my elephants down from 3 to just these 2. I physically don't think I can get rid of any more. I am pretty much complete with my declutter. I've got 3 bags of clothes, shoes, coats to get rid of. My brother's girlfriend is well stocked, but I am nearly done. Well, pretty much done. I just have a few little bits to put away, like literally just a few clothes to put away, and I am sorted. But I think tomorrow I'm gonna go through my goals because I don't have the emotional or mental strength to do that right now. So I have just been doing a little bit of journaling, planning out my goals for the next year, sort of reflecting on 2024. And I thought I would just do a little like recap and talk through some of my goals for next year. I feel like this is like the final or like next step. Like we've had a declutter and I feel like I am feeling pretty good. So we're gonna like go into it with like a fresh mindset. I have just sat as well and had like a digital declutter. So like I went through all of my, like the people that I follow on social media and also the people that follow me on like my personal account and my book Insta, and just kind of like got rid of any deactivated accounts, any sort of like bot or weird sort of accounts, got rid of those, and then unfollowed like either people that like, honestly guys, I'm just gonna say it, I don't have an issue with unfollowing people. I know that it can cause people like a little bit of anxiety, which as like an anxious girl, I'm surprised it doesn't, but I kind of like, if I don't enjoy seeing your content, or like if I don't necessarily care, what am I following you for? I know that probably sounds, I don't want it to sound harsh, but I just mean like, if you're like negative, or if we don't have the same views, not necessarily views, because I mean like people can have different opinions, but I just mean like if morally we are not aligned, what am I following you for? Like I'm not going to do it. So I will just unfollow, like it's nothing, like it's almost like a game to me now. But yeah, I had a good old digital declutter and just went through and removed followers, unfollowed people, went through my camera roll, my recently deleted, cleared out my emails, like everything. And I feel like a new woman. So for my 2024 reflection, let's get into it. Where to even start? I feel like I kind of touched on this maybe earlier in the video. I've just been very sad this year, which makes me like really sad to say, because I feel like I said the same thing at the end of last year. And I don't know if this year it has got, well, it has got worse. Your girl is not doing too hot right now, which frustrates me to say, because I'm like, babes, you literally were saying this last year, like what have we done about it? But it's hard, and I am such an anxious person. I'm so, I don't even want to say I'm stressed, because like I'm not necessarily stressed, but like my anxiety causes me to then get stressed, and it's a whole big thing. And I also feel like I have just generally had like a pretty low mood this whole entire year. But then I feel like me saying that sounds very negative, and I, in other respects, have had one of the best years that I've ever had. Like I feel like I have obviously travelled to new places. I've gone to 3 new countries this year. Like I did a big trip around Thailand with like some of my best friends, like with my cousin who is literally one of my best friends, with my boyfriend, with my cousin's boyfriend. Like it was just such a core memory, and it is a trip that we will be able to like tell our kids about, and I am so grateful for that. Then I also went to Greece with my boyfriend, and like I feel like it is such a luxury. Like I'm obviously in a privileged position where we do go on quite a lot of trips and holidays. Obviously I live at home with my parents, like I don't have a mortgage, I don't have real bills to pay as of yet, so I am taking full advantage of that, and I know that that is like a luxurious position to be in, so I never want to downplay that at all. Like travel is something that I love being able to go on holiday, I love being able to explore new places, and it's something that I never want to take for granted. And being able to like make memories in a new country, I'm literally gonna cry, but being able to make memories in like a new country with the people that I like love most ever in this world, and like being able to explore with my boyfriend, and being able to like tick off things on our bucket list, it's just everything to me. And I'm not gonna cry because it's gonna be a very annoying video. Honestly, I think I've cried more this year than I have ever in my life, which is hard because I am such a crier anyway. Like I literally came out of the womb crying. I'm just a very sensitive girly, and I feel like I have realised this year more than other years that that's not necessarily a bad thing. Is it annoying? Yes. It's so frustrating to be having a conversation and literally just start crying, like I just have right then. Like, but I kind of have no control over it. Like I have no filter when it comes to crying. Like it's just a constant stream of tears. But it is what it is. I feel like I've learned this year, on a little bit of a side note, that like being vulnerable and being sensitive and having a lot of feelings is not a bad thing, or it doesn't have to be a bad thing, as long as you sort of, I don't want to say like manage them well, because that's not realistic to be able to micromanage and control your emotions all the time. But I just mean like sometimes being so sensitive is a curse. Like I will be the first to admit that I sometimes wish I wasn't, or I wish that I didn't think about things as deeply as I do, because honestly, if I'm being so completely real, it is detrimental to my life. And that sounds so dramatic, I'm aware. I feel like I'm going on so many tangents. But overall, I have just had mentally not a great year, but like looking back at the year, I have had some very good moments and made some amazing memories with my favourite people, and I will forever be thankful for that. But for some of my 2024 goals that I had at the beginning of the year, my original goal was to read 125 books, which I did lower to 100. As of right now, I am at 100 books, so I have met my reading goal. Another one that I had was to save. I have done that, but as previously mentioned, I have also gone on quite a fair few trips this year, and also it's just been an expensive year. Like, I kind of started the year on a bad note in that my car was broke. I ended up spending like a ridiculous amount of money that I honestly shouldn't have spent on getting my car fixed, just so that I could then sell it. And then I obviously had to get a new car, and then I had things going on with like my dog, just general life. Like, I was just rolling with the punches, and every single thing was costing so much money. Then I went on a big trip to Thailand, which obviously, like I said again, is a luxury, but it was like a once in a lifetime trip, and I didn't want to be like, oh no, I can't do that because I want to save the money, when like I'm only 24, like this is the time that I should be going on those trips. So I did save, but sadly not as much as I wanted to, but I have made so many memories like in replace of that. Another one that I had was to make more purposeful and enjoyable content, which I do feel like I have really done this year. I feel like previously my content was heavily centered around like fashion and beauty, which I still love. Like, I still love those aspects, but I just felt like it wasn't necessarily filling my cup the most, because it was very, I don't want to say superficial, but very like materialistic and very wasteful, overconsumption and all of that stuff. Like, it just was not necessarily filling my cup in the way that I would say my content now is, which is more like lifestyle based, obviously with book content, with a sprinkling of fashion, beauty, all things like that, because they are things I'm interested in. They're just not necessarily what I want my content to focus around, which I have realised. One that I was not the best at was less screen time, but I will say I feel like it goes hand in hand with the content thing. Like, obviously I've been putting out a lot more content this year, a lot like lengthier content, so I in turn have spent more time on like my screen doing inspo or planning or prepping or like editing. So that one's a tough one, but I know that generally my screen time is not down as much as I wanted it to be. That is one that I'm taking into 2025 with me. And similarly, I have overall focus on wellness. I had so many goals that I did not complete when it comes to wellness and health and everything like that. So I wanted to become a runner, have not done that. I wanted to get my skin in check, that has not happened. I literally wrote down to try a new recipe every week. Not a chance. Me and my hyperfixations would never allow for that. Like, I literally rotate the same 3 meals every single week without fail. Like, that just maybe wasn't a realistic one for me. I do want to take those into the new year with me though, but I'll kind of touch on that in my 2025 goals. So I have a few that I'm like not going to say, just because they are like personal, or kind of don't want to put them out there on the internet. But I have read 100 books. I was going to up my reading goal this year, but I read less books this year than I did last year. And I just feel like next year I don't necessarily want to focus on the amount of books that I read, but more so the books that I am reading. Like, I want to find the most 5 stars that I've ever found, and I want to discover like new favourite authors and new favourite series or books. And I don't want to necessarily be like, right, I need to read this, I need to read that because I want to reach my reading goal. I want to read for enjoyment, yes, which I do, but I want to read books that I am genuinely going to love, compared to just reading to boost my reading goal. But I do feel like 100 books is manageable for me. Obviously that's what I've read this year. I read more than that last year, so I feel like that's a good number. So I'm gonna read 100 books this year, hopefully. This one is on my list every year, but I have to visit at least 2 new countries. This year I visited 3. I went to Thailand, Greece and Poland. Next year, I know that the beginning of the year I'm going to Dublin, so there's one because I've never been to Ireland before. And then hopefully we have a big trip planned too, so that will be another one off that list also. One that is on my list, which is a huge one and is quite scary, and I am manifesting that it happens next year, is that I want to move out. Obviously this one has been on my list or like in the background for quite a while. It is just expensive, and in this cost of living crisis, your girl is going to be living at home with her parents until she's like 35 at this rate. God forbid, actually. But I would love to be able to move out next year. Obviously, I'm not necessarily in a position where it's like a rush and it's forced, and I don't want to kind of like rush into something just for the sake of it. So like if the opportunity arises, if the situation is right, then that would be perfect, and I would love that because I would love to be able to say that I've moved out next year. And then two that I have that kind of go hand in hand, I have glow up physically, mentally, emotionally, like in every possible way, and then also to prioritize me and my wellness and overall health. So kind of like what I was saying about this year, I feel like I just have not necessarily done that, or like I started things but then didn't follow through with them, and I just generally want to glow up and I want to fully put me, my health, my well-being, everything like that first, and truly like just be the best that I've ever been. I have obviously actively been working on this also by like, honestly guys, completely real moment from me. Honestly, I have like put things in place this year regarding like my mental health and like counselling, medication, things like that, that I had not necessarily done previously. So that is obviously like a big win, a big step, and hopefully we will start seeing like the effects, the benefits of that in the new year. I do want to get back into like regular exercise because yes, I walk, like I have dogs, so I do walk my dogs every day, but I don't do like any other exercise other than that, honestly. I want to eat better. I do want to stick with my thing of trying like a new recipe, just because like I said, I am a creature of habit, and also I feel like I haven't necessarily like fueled my body the best this year. And I also have been very open on here about me struggling with my skin. I am hoping to go on some different medication next year that hopefully will sort that whole situation out for me too. And then just other general like health concerns that I've had this year that hopefully I will get clarity on next year. So we are like hoping and praying and manifesting for that. I want to pour back heavily into my friendships next year. I feel like this year, just because of kind of like what I've said, like health reasons, mental health, like different things like that, generally just feeling very anxious, I feel like I have not been the best friend that I could be, or as good of a friend as I have been previously, and that really upsets me. So I really just want to pour back into those next year and really truly like prioritize those, because my platonic friendships mean so much to me. And then I also just want to spend less time on my phone and be more present, kind of like not recenter myself, that sounds so cringe, but like focus more on being present, being in the moment. This isn't necessarily to do with my phone, but I feel like the two kind of go hand in hand, and just sort of take, not every moment as it comes, but like focus on being a little bit more appreciative, grateful, everything like that. I want to stop going on my phone first thing in the morning, and also stop going on it at like 9 p.m. or like a couple of hours before I go to bed. So they are all of my goals for 2025. We've got quite a few on there, but I'm hoping that they are manageable. All of them kind of like centre around wellness, improving obviously myself, my lifestyle, my health, my well-being, everything like that. I'm going to film my little outro now, just in case I forget whilst it is on my mind. But thank you for coming along for my little reset. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope you are also prepping yourself in whatever way that might be for you. Ready for a new year. 2025 is gonna be our year, okay? If you do want to try Magic Mind, then you can go to magicmind.com/GeorgiaW20. Use the code GeorgiaW20 to get 48% off your first subscription for the next 10 days. I'll leave that all linked down below, and I'll pop it on the screen as well. But thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any goals that you wanted to share, what your aims are for the next year, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.